Joe Ty Crandall here with Credit Suite. Today we're talking about unsecured, we'll talk about secured and
credit lines that you can get for your business. So the majority of people I speak to that run a business want to get access to money, and most want access to a credit line for a ton of different reasons and benefits that we're going to talk about today. But the problem is a lot of people can't get approved for credit lines, mostly because they're walking into their own bank to try to get it. Thanks for the loves early on. Hey, Jazzy D, welcome. Thanks for coming in. So many people make the mistake of trying to go to their bank when they're looking for a credit line. And the reality is banks are one of the worst places you can go to get credit lines. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to talk to you about the credit lines you can get at banks so you know what's possible. Hey, Big LLC, one, thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it. But there's a lot of easier ways to qualify for credit lines. There's a lot of ways to get credit lines when you can't even think about getting approved for money at your bank. Mary, thanks for coming in. I never get your name right. Thanks for coming in. Hey there, lady. Appreciate you coming in. So today we're going to be talking about a bunch of different credit lines that you can get for your business even when you can't get approved at your bank. And we're also going to talk about what credit lines you will get at an actual bank so you know a bunch of information about what's possible.
to the chalkboard today, but I always have to have something like this in my hand. So I will figure it out too. And you've even approached, but I will get it right. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about credit lines. So when there's a line of credit, you're ultimately talking about an agreement between a bank and a business where they're giving you a max amount of money you can borrow. Okay, now you can get secured and unsecured. We'll talk about both today. The difference is secured by some kind of collateral. Unsecured, you don't have to provide any collateral for. We'll talk about both these options. Now, a lot of people love credit lines because they're flexible. They can be reused, which means if you have a $100,000 credit line and borrow 10 grand, well, you could pay the 10 grand back, 10 grand off, and then reuse the credit line. So you're only paying payments and interest on what you're actually using instead of what the actual loan amount or limit amount is. Now, these are revolving accounts, oftentimes unsecured, oftentimes with no collateral, but I'll give you some options with collateral as well today. Secured are much easier to get because anytime you provide collateral to a lender, you have a better chance of getting approved for a loan or credit line versus unsecured where there's no credit line. Now, true credit lines are rare. A lot of what you see advertised as credit lines nowadays are more like credit cards, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. And a lot of credit lines that are available today have two criteria for qualification. I want to talk about it even if you don't have these, but a lot of it consists of good credit, decent time in business, 1, 2, 3 years, and tax returns that actually show profits.
Before I jump in and continue, which I will, I want to talk to you about this because it's tax time coming up here. And this is one of the biggest mistakes I see business owners make, is that when it comes to my world, when it comes to financing, to getting money for a business, hello, thanks for coming in, Felicia. Yeah, that's right. Felicia, welcome. Thanks for coming in. So in my world, what's most important to get long-term low-interest money is two things. Pretty good credit, which again, I'm going to show you options that aren't even credit-based today. And the second thing has to do with financials that show profits, tax returns that show profits. So I know a lot of people's accountants teach them to write off everything they can at the end of the year so they don't have to pay a bunch of taxes. But I can tell you, if you ever really want to get the best loans and credit lines, it all comes down to showing any kind of profit on the tax return. So as you get ready to move into tax season, keep that in mind. Showing even a little bit of profits can make the difference between you getting long-term loans and credit lines this year and not getting it. Now, I'm going to talk about options where that doesn't matter, but I'm just giving you a little bit of a tip. And thanks for inviting followers, Felicia. I appreciate that.
So one of the first credit lines I like is called the unsecured business financing. That's what we call it. And it's basically a 0% credit line. Corey, welcome. Thanks from Dallas. I love Texas, man. It's my favorite state. So with 0% or unsecured credit lines, you can get it for startups. Even as a startup, you're able to get it, even as a high-risk industry. Okay, you don't need to be in business for 6 to 12 months like you do a lot of credit lines. Now, this program, Unsecured Business Financing, these accounts only report to the Business Credit Reporting Agency. So what's cool about this is you're building business credit with Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, and Equifax, And these don't show on your personal credit report. That's a big deal because utilization is 30% of your consumer FICO score. So any credit cards or lines you can get that report here on your business credit reports and not here on your consumer credit reports, you want to take advantage of. And with this unsecured business financing program, these report to the business reporting agency. So you build business credit and you also avoid them reporting on your consumer credit reports. Big LLC, when you say you can get up to 150 in business credit, is that including with and without a PG? Well, I'll tell you more about that in a second. That is with this program, and we'll dive into it, and I'll tell you exactly how that works. But to answer your question in short, this is with PG. This program is with a personal guarantee. You can get well more than 150 without the personal guarantee if you follow the normal steps that we go through in building business credit. But I'll talk to you more about that in just a second. So again, these have no impact on your consumer credit reports because they only report on your business credit reports instead. Now you're usually going to get a 0% rate for 6 to 18 months. So this is perfect for a startup because it keeps your payments really low, especially in your startup period. Now these are actually credit cards, and they're obviously advertised as credit lines, but they're not. So what's the difference here? A lot of people don't know. Well, credit cards offer 0% rates and credit lines don't. Credit lines offer cash out, where you could take cash out with paying 20% plus rates. Credit cards typically don't. But with this one, you actually get both. You get the 0% rate for 6 to 18 months. They are cards, but they give you the ability to take all the cash out at 0%. It's a hybrid program. It's the best of credit cards and credit lines. Now, I'm not going to show this the whole time, but if you have questions or you want this program or anyone we're going to talk about today, feel free to go to creditsuite.com/get-funding or give us a ring on our main number, 877-600-2487. So, that being said, back to where we were. Okay, so, that being said, they give you the best of both worlds, 0% for credit cards and credit lines where you could take the cash out. So, here's how this program works. You don't need any collateral for approval. It's unsecured, okay? And also, because of this, you also don't need any cash flow. You don't need tax returns. You don't need bank statements for approval. All you need is one of two things. A 650 score will get you personal cards. These are cards that report on your consumer credit reports, not your business. Now, if you have a 680, then you can get the business credit reporting account. So there's two different ways you can qualify, but it's strictly based on consumer credit. Now, if you have credit issues, no worries. I'm about to show you other credit lines that don't even look at personal credit, but this one does. So you're often able to get about 5 to 8 times the amount of your current highest limit account now. So if the highest limit credit card you have now is 10 grand, you're going to get 5 to 8 times that, or 50 to 80,000. Okay, now what's also going to happen is because you're getting multiple accounts, you're building your business credit faster because these accounts report to the business credit reporting agencies and gives you more trade lines. And also, it gives you the ability to get higher limit accounts more often, about in every 6 months. You're getting 25 to 150,000 is how much you can get to, typically in 3 weeks or less. Now, this is only using personal credit for PG accounts to qualify. Somebody just asked, hey, what happens with no personal guarantee credit? Well, remember, with this program, you're putting 5 or more accounts on your business credit reports. So if we look at the steps to build business credit without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check, we see that with this program, we also knock out step 3, which gives us the ability to start getting all kinds of store credit cards without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check, and continue to get auto vehicle financing, Visa cards, MasterCards, Amex, all without a PG. So all this is doing is, in business credit building, it's replacing step 3 and gets you faster to a point where you can build all kinds of additional credit, which is a really cool thing to do. So again, 0% rates for 6 to 18 months on Big LC. How much in business credit cards can I get with no PG and over 14 accounts? There is no end there. You can continue to get more and more accounts. So when you reach step 5 of the business credit building process, it never ends. You continue to get more auto vehicle financing, more Visa cards, more MasterCards, more American Express. As a matter of fact, we just had a client who's been building business credit for over a year now get a $100,000 credit line with PNC with no credit check and no personal guarantee. She also got a $75,000 roofing account, which you probably don't care about, but in her industry she does. So you'll continue to get more and more credit. There's no end to when you get to step 5 of the business credit building process. So you got to have good scores. Again, 550 or 650 to 680. Okay, you're getting about, you can also use a credit partner. So even if your credit isn't good, you can use a guarantor with the 650 to 680 score to get approved as well. And multiple guarantors can mean even more money for you. Now again, there's no derogatory items that are recent on the credit report, no bankruptcies at all. You need about 6 inquiries in the last 6 months to get approved. Any judgments or tax liens would have to be paid for approval on this. You can't be in credit counseling or have foreclosure or late payments in the last 12 months. And you can't have collections over $500. Now, lenders and credit issuers will charge you a 9 to 10 to 12% success-based fee based on how much you get. So if you get $100,000, they might charge you $9,000 in fees, but you only pay after you actually get approved. So I love this program because you can get it even as a startup. You don't need cash flow. You don't need tax returns. You don't need bank statements for approval. Do you guys, in the question, do you guys help in finding those sources even after we complete the program? Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you ever need help with any of these kind of loans or funding programs, let us know. And yeah, we'll continue to help in our back-end finance suite as well. Has a bunch of information when it comes to actually getting the no PG Visa, MasterCard, American Express. So I love this program. It reports your credit to the business credit reporting agencies. You build business credit while getting 0% interest rates for 6 to 18 months. You get approved for up to $150,000, and you could take the cash out on these accounts. This is the best program I've ever seen for startups, period. All you need is a 650 FICO to get the personal cards, a 680 for the business credit reporting. Okay, Bishop, thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate it. And then once you have this, an only credit or a guarantor with credit, you can get approved. Fantastic program for startups. Okay, so that being said, another program that's not credit-based is 2 different credit lines. It's called AR or credit-based or revenue-based credit lines. This gives you interest rates of 0.5% or a little bit more per every week outstanding. So if you borrow the money and you pay it back over 24 weeks, your interest rate's about 5%, for example. You get immediate approval with this. So if you, with this program, when you come in and tell us you're interested, we get you approved in about 1 to 2 hours, and you actually fund the next day. And you can get funding up to about $100,000. Big LLC, did the 650 just recently get lowered? No. It's still 680, but with 650 you can get the consumer reporting cards on the last program. You need the 680 for the business reporting cards. Ronner, hello. Thanks for coming in. So with this program, cheap rates, you have 12 to 24 weeks, so basically 6 months to pay back whatever you put on the credit line. Okay, you're getting, again, typically the initial approvals are less than 50. Usually the initial approvals we see are less than 10 unless you actually show tax returns. Now, to get $100,000 that high, you're usually going to need to show 2 years tax returns. They're usually going to want to see about $300,000 in revenue for you to get up to 100. But we see a lot of people approved for under 50 with this. Now, there's 2 ways you can get approved. One is if you have account receivables. If you have customers that owe you money, then they'll plug into your accounting software like Xero, QuickBooks, etc. They'll base the approval based on the amount of account receivables you have. The other option is they plug right into your bank account. You don't need to submit any docs for this. And then if you have good bank account management, consistent revenue, you can get approved based on revenue alone. Now, there's no credit pull at all. They don't pull your consumer credit. They don't pull your business credit report. Even just dropped my pen. They don't pull your business credit report at all. So this one was great for startups. You don't need revenue. You don't need collateral. All you need is pretty good credit, 650 to 680 FICO. This one is fantastic. One of the lowest interest rates you're ever going to see, well less than 5%. If you borrow the money for 1 or 2 weeks, you're even paying less than 1% interest. This one is based on either account receivables, other people owing you money, or revenue, but there's no credit pull. They don't even look at all at personal or business credit. So a great option for you there as well. And a buddy of mine was this case study where he basically had a high-risk industry. He's in credit repair. He got approved for $6,000. He supplied his tax returns. He got $30,000, and this happened within 48 hours. Okay, he was actually looking for a program that gave him as high as 30% interest. He got this with a 0.5% interest. So again, 2 ways to qualify, either consistent revenue or account receivables. Now, a lot of other ones you can get approved for as well. We just rolled out a new credit line where you can get up to $150,000. you need $20,000 in monthly deposits and a 620 FICO. But if you have those, you can get approved in 48 hours and have a year to pay back this credit line, and the interest rate's just about as low as the other one I showed you. Now, there's also some SBA cap lines. These are the ones that come from the big banks where you can get $350, even $5 million bucks, but you need tax returns. You need good credit to get approved for these kind of credit lines. Now, there's a lot of alternative-based credit lines as well. There's one based on cash flow. And this is easy to qualify for. You can have bad personal credit as low as a 520, okay? They want you to have 10 grand a month in revenue. So 500 score or 520 you can get approved. And basically all they're doing is using your cash flow, your bank statement review for approval. So this one works for you if you have credit issues as well. Another great program is called securities financing. It's based on you having stocks or bonds. If you have inventory or stocks or bonds, you can use that as collateral to qualify. It's not based on personal credit. Personal credit doesn't matter. And with those, cash flow doesn't matter either. You don't need to have consistent revenue or cash flow. So here's some great options if you have collateral, such as securities, stocks, bonds, 401k. Here's another option if you have inventory. So when we look at this as a whole, the question becomes, what's your strength? I'm going to give you an option no matter what your situation is. Thanks for the loves, guys, the hearts, and thanks for the share. If you have good personal credit or a guarantor that has a 650 to 680 FICO, without a doubt, get this program. You build your business credit because they report to the business reporting agencies. You're getting 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. And you can take the cash out on these accounts. It's fantastic. It's one of the best programs I've ever seen for startups. If you have account receivables, others that owe you money, or consistent revenue, you want to go with this guy right here. There's no credit pull. There's no credit inquiry. Christine, welcome. Thanks for coming in with the super heart. You're hitting hard today. I love it. Lowest rates I've ever seen, 0.5% for every week outstanding, definitely less than 5% if you're borrowing it even over 24 months, and you get really fast approval. I mean, funding within 48 hours, usually same day approval within about 2 hours, you're getting approved. And you can get up to $100,000 with this program. So great if you have revenue or account receivables because there's no credit pull. Another great one, and one of my favorites, is this newest one that just came out. Credit line up to 150 grand. Now somebody's saying, Felicia's saying, do they have balance transfer cards for business? Yeah, they have. You could definitely do balance transfers for business just like you can with consumer. Now this one, if you have a 620 FICO and more revenue, 20 grand, this is a great low rate program, long payback. You pay back the credit line or what you borrow over 12 months, and it's really simple to get approved. Or maybe your strength is some kind of collateral, security, stocks, bonds, 401ks, or inventory. That opens up a bunch of low interest rate credit lines. And if you have consistent cash flow, well, then you can probably get this one, and you could probably get this one. This one is based on your cash flow. Personal credit scores as low as 500. And again, 10,000 in monthly revenue is all you need. Now, what's nice here is you can get a lot of these. What if you don't have any of those things? What if you don't have good credit, you don't have collateral, and you don't have actual revenue like you need for this program right here? Well, then that's when you go to the process of building your business credit, setting up your business credibly, getting your free DUNS number, getting 5 initial accounts through places like Uline, Quill, Granger, etc. Then moving on to stores. Hello, welcome, thanks for coming in. Places like Staples, Home Depot, Chevron, Apple, IKEA, Amazon. And once you do this, then you get to step 5 where you can get auto vehicle financing, Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express, where none of this stuff to get any of this kind of credit requires no personal guarantee and no personal credit check. You don't need collateral to get any of these kind of approvals. You don't need to verify cash flow. They're not going to pull your personal credit. So business credit, you can get all different kind of financing, including $20,000 Chase credit cards, $100,000 PNC type credit lines, all based on your business credit quality. So again, even if you can't get any of the options we talked about today, you can still follow the steps to build business credit. And we're not covering that today, but if you go to creditsuite.com/Periscope, you can access our free guide that maps out these steps. And without cash flow, without credit, without collateral, you could still build your business credit, get high limit accounts at most major stores, auto vehicle financing, Visa cards, MasterCards, and American Express. Here's a list of real approvals that we track from our clients, even pull credit reports, so you can actually see what's possible. So I gave you options no matter what your situation is. And again, if this all makes sense and you have questions, feel free to give us a call. 877-600-2487, 877-600-2487. Remember, for any of this funding, we never charge you a dime of money. We help you through the whole process, qualify, get you with the right lenders, and they never charge you a dime. The lenders will actually pay us a referral fee if we refer them in some cases. That's how we get paid. Okay, so let's take into a quick overview. You have good credit? Go with the unsecured business financing program. 0% for 6 to 18 months. Reports to the business credit reporting agencies. Get you up to $150,000 in financing, and also helps build your business credit and lets you take the cash out. So you get 0% and can take the cash out on this program. The second thing is if you have account receivables or revenue, go right here. You get up to $100,000 with the cheapest rates possible, 0.5% for every week outstanding. And again, if you want even more money, then supply tax returns and they'll give you even more money. Big LLCs, what kind of limits do they give with no personal guarantee cards? It depends on how high your limits are before you apply. In order, which Christina just got this $100,000 PNC, but before she got this, she had $40,000 approval, $75,000. So as you build your business credit, the limits go up on these kind of store accounts. And as the limits go up on these kind of store accounts as you build business credit, that's what gets you into the higher limits. So consumer and commercial credit's the same. You're oftentimes getting approved for limits similar to what you have. And that means that as you get higher limits, then the new credit you get, the limits get higher and higher and higher. So it's very common to see $20,000 to $50,000 limit ranges on no personal guarantee credit. So if you have the account receivables or revenue, go here. Low interest, $100,000. You supply tax returns, you'll get even more. Box Truck, I have 14 accounts. What are some good no PG? Chase Inc. has one. PNC has one. BJ's is kind of hit or miss, because sometimes they actually will give you the no PG credit. No, they don't. Sometimes they don't. Those are two of the best. But make sure that those are actually reporting. All kinds of people say they have accounts reporting, don't have them, and blow their only chance to get approved. I did get an AT&T account for 25 lines at $300 each for each new business. Great job, Christine. That's for your brand new one you're just starting to build business credit with. Congrats. So again, we looked at this one. If you have good credit, cash flow, and collateral, go to SBA. SBA has some, no problem, Box Truck, has some great options for you. And remember, if you have collateral, stocks, bonds, 401k, securities, inventory, there's a lot of financing that's based on collateral. And again, if your strength is that you have consistent cash flow, there's a great credit line that you can get here using your cash flow as collateral if you have $10,000 or more in revenue. So a lot of credit lines we went over today. We went over this one. We went over these two, 2 and 3. We went over this one, which I love, 4. We went over 5 and 6 with inventory financing, 7 over here. We went over SBA. Alternative financing works too. There's a lot of alternative lenders that have credit lines as well. They're going to usually want at least a 620 FICO and tax returns to get approved. Don't have collateral, don't have cash flow, don't have good credit. Hello, thanks for coming in, Fab Feast. Then what you want to do is build your business credit. Set up your business credibly. Get your free DUNS number. Build initial credit using vendors like Uline, Quill, Granger. Remember, if you have good business credit, hey, thanks for coming. If you have good personal credit, you can use that unsecured business financing in place of the SCEP and skip that step. Once you have 5 accounts reporting, then you start getting Chevron and Staples, Home Depot, Apple, Amazon, IKEA. Once you have 10 accounts reporting, then you can start to move into fleet credit for auto vehicle, maintenance, repairs, cash credit, Visa, MasterCard, auto vehicle financing, all those type of things. How many trades you need for Sam's Club? You need 10 for Sam's. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We went over a lot of stuff to do with credit lines today. And somebody says, I just got a $10,000 Bank of America credit card with personal guarantee. What should I do next? Well, the question is does it report to the business credit reporting agencies? If it does, remember, build is all about how many trade lines you have. So you need 5 accounts total to move on to get most store credit without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. You're going to also need 10 accounts or more to start getting here. So again, if you only got one Bank of America, what you might want to do is just give us a ring. We can get you more of those kind of accounts, maybe 3, 4, 5 more of those type of cash credit cards, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 accounts. That would give you the 5 accounts you need to move on to getting the no PG store credit, then moving into Visa, MasterCard, and American Express.
A lot of stuff we dove into today. We talked about a lot of different credit lines. We talked about credit lines with interest rates as low as 0.5%, credit lines for startups. BOA usually reports to Equifax Business, but not the others. That's why you've got to get trade lines that report to multiple business credit reporting agencies. Great tip. I appreciate that, Christine. We talked about credit lines you can get based on collateral like inventory, 401k, stocks, bonds. We talked about multiple credit lines you can get just because you have consistent cash flow of $100,000 or more a year. You are my guy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We talked about credit lines that have no credit requirements at all. They don't even pull personal credit. We talked about other ones that have 620 credit requirements, so it's fairly easy to get approved. The bottom line is that there's a lot of ways you can get money. Even if you don't have cash flow, credit, or collateral, you can still get some of these if you have one of those 3. If you don't have cash flow, credit, or collateral, you could still build business credit as we talked about here. So, in summary, do business credit cards report to Business Equifax? It depends.
Some report to DMB, some report to Equifax and Experian. It's always a good question to call them and ask them who they report to. So if you have any questions, if you want to get a credit line or a loan, give us a ring, 877-600-2487. We never charge you a dime of money to get financing. Okay, what happens is we will set you up with the right lender, help you through the whole process, and a lot of times the lender actually pays us a referral fee. So give us a call, talk to us a little bit more. And again, we can help you with all these credit lines. We can also talk to you more about building business.
In the weeks to come, we're going to talk about even more ways to get financing. We're going to talk about the exact steps to build business credit, map it out, even if you're a startup as well. So there's a lot of things to come if you're following us here on Periscope. We're live every Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. We're live here on Periscope, and almost all of ours talk about getting money for your business, how to get loans, how to get credit lines, how to get business credit, how to build your business credit scores, your bank credit scores, your consumer credit scores, everything you need so you know exactly what it takes to get approved, and we answer all your questions in real time as well. So if you missed this, go back and play it from the beginning. It's available indefinitely now on Periscope. It used to only be for 24 hours. Now they keep it up indefinitely. And go through and you'll learn a bunch of different ways to get credit lines. Otherwise, I will see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Thank you for the loves. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the first-time Periscope people that are just viewing this and you're checking us out on your first day. We appreciate that. Comda Fuel for $3,400. Good job. Congratulations. Is PNC no PG? They're hit or miss. I got an application today from PNC that is a PG. We have a lot of other clients that are getting it with no PG, so it really depends. So Syed, thanks for joining us your first day on Periscope. So if you missed this, go back and watch it in its entirety. I try to keep this short to get just to the point of how to build business credit, how to get all different types of credit lines to fund your business. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll see you next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern here on Periscope. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and I will see you next week, so I hope you have a Happy New Year's as well. Jazidi says, is NAV Credit Builder a conflict with your company? No, we work with NAV. NAV's a partner of ours. You can actually get NAV cheaper through us. They made that happen for us. So we love NAV. They have a great program, and we help a lot of our clients build or get credit monitoring from NAV. So it works very well. So I look forward to seeing you all next Wednesday. I hope you have a Happy New Year. We'll be live here next Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day.